All right, welcome to Talkin Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about Marathon Digital, stock ticker MARA. This is one of those love them or hate them companies, so I got a lot to say about this one, and some people are going to like it, some people aren't going to like it, but I'm just going to go through the numbers, and I'm going to try and give an accurate representation of what's actually going on. So we talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners all the time on this channel. If that's content you're interested in, please remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Also, if you could smash the like button, I would appreciate it. And lastly, if you want to become a member of the channel, you can hit the join button on YouTube and you can become a member and get some exclusive content as well as a once a week live stream that's for members only. Okay, let's talk about Marathon. So I'm just going to start out by looking at what they're doing today. They're trading at about $13 right now, $13.13. It's the middle of the trading day. That leaves them somewhere in the neighborhood of a $1.5 billion market cap. I will tell you, Marathon is the largest market cap out of all the publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies. They have been, however, nowhere near the largest producer of Bitcoin. So I'm going to go through those numbers. They're going through some big changes, and I want to take an honest look at exactly what they're doing, where they've come from, where they are, and where they're going. So I like to put things in perspective and compare their market cap right now to their historical market cap over the last couple of years. So if we just take a look, they're at $1.5 billion right now. And again, that is the largest market cap of any Bitcoin mining company currently. However, if we go back to November, so this is still within the 52-week period. If we go back to November, this was a $7.5 billion company. So they had a huge run up in November. That was simultaneous with Bitcoin hitting its all-time high. So the other number that I like to take a look at is in March of 2022, Bitcoin had a nice relief rally. So Bitcoin had pulled back pretty drastically since then, had a nice little relief rally in March, and all the Bitcoin miners hit a local high at that time. At that time, at the end of March, Marathon was just a little over a $3 billion company. So they're about half that right now. This is actually better performance than any other of the Bitcoin mining company. Let's go to the update. Okay, Marathon Digital Holding announces Bitcoin production and mining operation update for September of 2022. So they give a few bullet points at the top. Produced 360 Bitcoin in September of 2022 and 616 Bitcoin in Q3 of 2022. So you can see they actually produced more in September of 2022 than they did in the other 2 months in this quarter combined. So we're going to look at a chart month by month a little bit later in the video. Their production fell off of a cliff, so this is a long road back for them. However, this is a good step in the right direction. So if I go to their August update, which was the previous month, you'll see they produced 184 Bitcoin in August. So 184, they produced like 73 in July. So July and August really was the absolute bottom for these guys. They have a massive amount of equipment, but they've had logistics problems getting them all turned on and operating and mining. So their production really went to very nearly zero in the middle of the summer here. So now we see this month, 360. That's actually a fairly reasonable number. This is still very, very much lower than they were expecting to be at this point in time. They've been talking about ramping up in every single monthly update that they've given all year this year. So for a while, it was getting very frustrating because the monthly operation reports kept saying we're going to do one thing, but it wasn't happening. In fact, it was moving in the wrong direction. So there were several months where, I was deeply concerned about Marathon. I still have my concerns, but I do want to go into this with an open mind and look at what they're actually doing. They did fall short for almost every single month of the year this year. And they're still well short of where they said they were going to be. But they do have a plan to get back to their target goal of 23 exahash. And it looks like they're now starting to implement it. October is going to be an absolutely critical month. If their production goes up again in October, and I will tell you, I'm looking at them very similarly if you watched my Riot video, you're going to see, based on the amount of exahash that they say that they're at, they need to be mining somewhere around 600 or 700 Bitcoin in the month of October. Then I'm going to start to have a lot more confidence that they're going to get to where they said they were going. Okay, during the third quarter, we sequentially improved our Bitcoin production as we successfully transitioned out of the facility in Montana and continued scaling operations at new locations, including the King Mountain Wind Farm in Texas, said Fred Thiel, Marathon chairman and CEO. This progress has continued into the first week of October, with approximately 19,000 additional miners representing approximately 2.0 exahash per second coming online since the quarter's end. So that's just in the today's October 6th. So that means in the last 5 days, they've brought another 2.0 full exahash online, up and running. That gives them a total of 57,000 machines, representing approximately 5.7 exahash per second. So 2 of which just came online in the last few days. They then say, we expect to continue building our hash rate in the fourth quarter as approximately 19,000 additional miners representing approximately 2.0 exahash per second are expected to come online in the next 30 days. We're still in the first week of October, and they are at 5.7 exahash. So I expect to see big numbers in October. 600 Bitcoin mined would actually be a little bit of a disappointment, but that still would be a monster jump from the 360 they did in September. So I'm looking for 600 to 700. I'd love to see 700. I will consider that a success, and I will start to say they're creating a track record of doing what they say they're going to do versus the track record they've had over the last 10 months of falling short of what they say they're going to do. Okay, so here they do a little summary. July was 72 Bitcoin. August was 184 Bitcoin. September was 360. Operating mining fleet consisted of approximately 37,000 active miners producing approximately 3.8 exahash after approximately 3,000 miners were successfully energized during September of 2020. So that means they moved from somewhere from around 3.5 to 3.8 exahash in the month of September. Their production was 360, so that's somewhere around 100 Bitcoin per exahash. That's starting to normalize. This is the first month where it's starting to become a reasonable number. If they can do the same thing next month, with the 5.8 exahash that they're at, that's what gets them to the 600 to 650 Bitcoin that I would expect to see them produce in October. That is going to be absolutely vital. This is a pass-fail situation for me because there were so many months where they didn't do where they said they were going to do. They have now put out a press release. They said they have 5.7 exahash already up and running as of the 6th day of October. So there's no excuses left on the table. We need to see them perform and get at least 600 Bitcoin in the month of October. If they put out another number in the 300s or the 400s, then I'm going to be right back to where I was back in highly skeptical mode. So I do want to update my opinion with the facts on the ground. So they do have some good stuff they're reporting in this month. So I want to give them the credit for what they're doing, and they're moving in the right directions. There's the potential for them, and I have said this all along. This company is an ultra high potential company. They just haven't been realizing that potential. So they already own almost all of the machines that they need. They've just been sitting not energized and not mining Bitcoin. So if they get their other logistic problems straightened out and they're able to get everything up and mining, then they stand a very good chance of reaching that potential and being what everybody thought they were going to be. As we go on here, the next thing they say is they benefited from a downward market price adjustment for the S19 XPs set to ship in October. Benefits from the price adjustments expected to continue as additional XPs are shipped in November and December. So these are machines that they made deals for a year or a year and a half ago, and it looks like there was some clause in that deal that there would be a price adjustment downward if the price of these machines decreased over time. So that is helping them as well. All right, the next thing, total Bitcoin holdings increased to 10,670 with a fair market value of approximately $207.3 million as of September 30th. So that means Marathon is still holding 100% of the Bitcoin that they are mining. So it is really down now to Marathon and Hut 8 are the only two companies in 100% hodl position. Everybody else is selling Bitcoin. Okay, lastly, it's worth noting successfully completed the exit from Hardin, Montana facility on schedule with all Hardin miners either resold or redeployed. Proceeds from the sale of Hardin miners totaled approximately $47.5 million. So Hardin was a coal facility. In the current ESG environment, that was totally unacceptable. So they did close that down. That's one of the reasons their exahash rate went down so much. So they're done with that. They also have committed to being 100% carbon neutral by the end of this year, 2022. So I'll look more on that in future months. I'm not sure how they're going to accomplish that. They're going to have to use a lot of offset credits, I believe, but I'll do a deeper dive on that another time. This is a chart of Marathon's monthly Bitcoin production by month dating all the way back to July of 2021. So you'll see back in July of 2021, they were already in the 400s, 442 in July, 470 in August. So that is a monumental drop off. So you can see the frustration. I know there's a lot of people watching this video. There's a lot of Marathon stock owners or former stock owners that are extremely frustrated with this company. So I've been fairly harsh on them, but I think fair. I've just been trying to explain what's happened on a month-by-month basis, and they've had a lot of rough months in a row. So you can see their best month ever was in December of 2021. That was 485 Bitcoin mined. They've been heading down ever since then, hitting rock bottom in July, and now they have started to recover. So I am expecting October of 2022 to be the best month they've ever had from a production standpoint. It really shouldn't be close. So that is going to be important. If they don't break their all-time record, which is only 485, again, I'm expecting more like 600 to 650. So I would be concerned if they don't get to that number. So look for them to get to 600 plus, which would be another nice jump month over month. Okay, on the other side of the equation, this is a chart of each Bitcoin mining company's stock performance since they hit their lows in June of this summer. So all the Bitcoin miners hit a local bottom in June when Bitcoin bottomed out at around 17,500. So somewhere within the last 2 weeks of June, all of these companies bottomed out. They have since recovered. So this is their performance over the last, about 100 days since then. And you'll see there's a massive difference in these companies. So whereas some of these companies are in the red, but what I want to point out on this chart is Marathon is up 147%. That does not include today's activity. So that is by far first place. So the market has already built in a lot of the expectation of what looks like is happening right now. They have managed to hold on to a lot of their gains. There was a nice relief rally in August. Marathon was able to hold on to more of those gains than any other publicly traded Bitcoin mining company in North America. They're up 147% off of their lows. So that has been strong performance from their stock. We're now starting to see strong performance from their company. That's why I believe October is a make or break month. We need to see that next level of performance to justify this massive outperformance by their stock versus all the other Bitcoin miners. So I think if we do see that, I think you're going to see Marathon continue to outperform. And this is a stock that has a lot of upside potential if they can get to where they're going. And to put it in perspective, they just got to 3.8 exahash in September. It's now the first week in October, and they say they're at 5.8 exahash, and they're looking to get to 23 exahash sometime in the next 6 months. So incredible amounts of growth to come if they can stay on that schedule. Just taking a quick look at their chart, you'll see, so they've had a recent run up in the last 2 weeks of about 42%. So their stock's been behaving very well the last couple of weeks. Bitcoin's been behaving okay. We're a little bit sideways and a little bit up. But again, as we just looked at, Marathon stock is performing much better than most of the other Bitcoin mining stocks. Having said that, they are still 42.5% off of their highs from August. In early August, the last report we got was their July update, which was that they mined 72 Bitcoin. So this company was in a pretty ugly spot at that point, and they still managed to run up to these numbers. So I think this is a super realistic price target. If Bitcoin can just stay above 20,000, I'm looking for Bitcoin to run to maybe 25,000, but I don't even think it needs to do that for Marathon to continue its run up as long as they continue to increase production at the levels that they're doing. Now, obviously, if Bitcoin goes the other way and has a substantial move to the downside, that is going to drag all the Bitcoin mining stocks with them in all likelihood. Their fate is clearly linked to Bitcoin to a certain extent. So lastly, if we zoom out, I'm just going to go to where they were trading back in the end of March of 2022. So in March, Bitcoin had a very nice relief rally. It got up to about $48,000. So at that time, Marathon was trading at $33. They're currently trading under $14. So you can see this would be a 146% increase in the price of Marathon stock if they were just able to get back to that point that they were in March of 2022. And remember, over the next 90 days, they should be, about 5 times the size of the company that they were in March of 2022. I do think that's a very realistic price target, even if we're looking a year or 18 months out. If Marathon can stick to its plan and get to 23 exahash and Bitcoin can stay healthy at all, this is actually a very modest price target in my opinion. Again, not financial advice. You guys got to do your own due diligence. I do think there's a chance that if everything goes right, Marathon could get substantially higher than this number sometime in the next 18 months. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. That's what I got for you on Marathon. I know people have a lot of strong feelings about this one, so you can drop me a comment below as to what you guys think Marathon's doing and where you think they're going in the future. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.